This is the Cubs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs POSTCAST here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Today's show is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today and use my promo code LOCKEDONMLB to receive 20% off your order, only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion-flavored 5-hour energy shots today. Deflating is the word that I want to use for this game today. That sucked. Lodolo leaves early in the game because of a blister, but the Cubs can only get 3 hits in this game. The offense is lifeless. It's not one guy. It's not just Kyle Tucker. It's Seiya Suzuki. It's Pete Crow-Armstrong. It's Dansby Swanson. Yes, he had the home run tonight. He tried to stretch out for the single, didn't obviously miss the bag, but the offense is lifeless. Questionable decisions from Craig Counsell in this game that we'll go through. At least Ben Brown was good, but we'll also take your comments and questions here in the chat as well. But look, this game, it's just disappointing. We'll start with Soroka because it's that to me is it adds to the level of this game of why it's so bad for all of it. It's not just the offense. It's not just a loss. It's the fact that your deadline acquisition starter pitches 2 innings. That's it. 2 innings for Michael Soroka. That's all you get out of him. And who knows how bad the shoulder injury is going. And look, in most situations, I would defend a general manager and say, well, you can't predict injuries. But when you look at Soroka, here are his numbers. He was averaging 94 to 95 mile an hour on his fastball until June 28th. In his last 3 starts going into this one, his fastball dipped to 91.7 on average, 90.9 and 91.4. He lost 3 miles per hour on his fastball before you traded for him. And then he gets hurt after 2 innings. And look, shoulder discomfort, who knows what the word discomfort means? He might be fine. He might be back at his next start. He might only be out 15 days. He might be done as a Cub. Like, who knows? But it's bad luck for Soroka. And maybe not bad luck. Maybe it's poor evaluation from a medical staff. It's hard to talk about that stuff because you never really know. But, I mean, it's just brutal that that's your deadline acquisition at the deadline as a starter. And that's what you potentially get out of him as a Cub is that. So that's the start of it. The other one, it's just the offense. 3 hits against the Cincinnati Reds when their starter leaves early, who you didn't hit the ball out of the infield out of, is brutal. I mean, look, this team is playing better. Yeah, they're like 6.5 games, something like that, for behind you or out of the wild card and from where you are standing at least. But like, this is a wild card watch at this point. You're now 3 games back of the Brewers, and the Cubs are just not consistently playing good enough baseball. And the offense is broken. There's no other way to put it. It's broken. Kyle Tucker cannot hit a fastball. PCA is striking out at everything. Seiya Suzuki is striking out at everything. You're not getting any production from these guys. Michael Busch is not having a great time at the plate right now. I mean, these guys are just in a bad spot, basically from top down in the lineup. The bottom of the order has been better, but they can't carry this team. 1 through 4 is what's supposed to carry the Cubs, and they have been abysmal since the All-Star break, and Kyle Tucker has been abysmal for the last 2 months since this finger injury, whatever it is. I don't understand how a finger injury means you can't hit a fastball when you've been hitting them your entire career. But he can't find it. I mean, we saw it in that last strikeout. He's whiffing at everything. He's so far behind. This is nothing like the Kyle Tucker of the past. This is not what the Cubs traded for. It's the exact opposite. I mean, you're just not getting anything from him. You're not getting anything from Seiya Suzuki consistently. And Pete going into the weekend was fine, but he's striking out a ton. And I don't understand why he was in the game today. Like, why was Pete Crow-Armstrong in this game? You sat him for a reason. You sat him to give him a rest day, and then you put him in which he strikes out and he gets hit in the elbow. Why? Like, why was Pete Crow-Armstrong? That's a strange decision from Craig Counsell. I don't quite understand that one, because what is the point of giving someone an off day if you're just going to put them in the game anyways? So between that, Brazier, who, look, I don't want to defend the guy, but like the Reds only scored 3 runs. Yeah, he blew it, but at the end of the day, Ian Happ misplayed that ball. I know it's a tough play. I don't know if they actually ruled it an error or not at this point, but your bullpen and your starters need to be able to have some support going on. I mean, 3 runs against the Cincinnati Reds is plenty to win a baseball game. So yeah, Brazier blew it. I don't like him in clutch situations and high leverage roles. I don't think he fits well into that role. But they just don't. They're not supporting their pitching staff at all. And Ben Brown, who was fantastic, I think is the only way to put it. He was the only real bright spot besides the Dansby home run. Ben Brown was very good in this game, but the Cubs just absolutely no support. And look, it's one thing for one guy to go through a slump. You can carry one guy going through it. If it was just Tucker, that'd be one thing. But because it's all of them basically at one time, it's just this team, they've got to figure it out. Whatever is wrong with this group of players right now, the division is going to get harder and harder to win. Yes, you have a 5-game series coming up with the Brewers, but when you talk about where they started to where they are now to what happened at the deadline, it's unraveling in a way that I said on this show many times, I would not panic until the deadline. I would wait to see what Jed Hoyer did at the deadline. And he made 3 solid moves, but he didn't make a splash. But even if he did, and I'm not defending Jed Hoyer here, okay? I'm not. But even if he traded for Cabrera or Joe Ryan, where's the run support? Like where are the guys that are in this lineup that are making the most money on this team? Where is the run support? They're a 500 baseball team basically right now over the last 30 games. They're not playing good baseball, and the Brewers are red hot, and they continue to win. And all the Cubs can do right now is muster up little to no offense. It's brutal. You can't get fooled with one game. If they come out tomorrow and they score 7 runs and they win 7-0, then it doesn't matter. You know, it's because we need to see the Cubs play good baseball for a serious chunk of time that they have not done in a month and a half at this point. They're up and down, and they're winning some series, losing others, but they're not stringing good games together offensively. Like, I would much rather be in a position right now where the Cubs were, at least if they're losing 10-8, 9-7, because at least that's to be expected. Like, we don't have high expectations this year for the bullpen. I think the bullpen, for the most part this year, has exceeded the expectations for the Cubs, even though they haven't been great in the last 30 days either. But you add Kittredge, you add Rogers, you're fixing that part. Your starters have been pretty good for the most part. But your lineup, I mean, Willie Castro can't save the day. Like, that's not what he was traded for. You know, he's there to be a role player. And instead, it's just, it's not great. Glenn says here in the chat, a good baseball for a week would be nice. Yeah, good baseball for a week would be really nice. And maybe that starts tomorrow. But, I heard Alex Cohen and JD talking about this yesterday at the end of the broadcast before we started this show. And they said maybe this moment's the day where, the Justin Turner walk-off is really what gets the Cubs rolling. Nope. 3 hits. Where to go? And a lot of questions in here about the Cubs' decisions not to run. Just gone. It's just gone. They don't run. They don't steal bags. I mean, look, Nico made really great contact on that ball after PCA got hit. It was right at the second baseman. But why is PCA not running there? Like, again, why are you playing him on an off day? But why not run him? Like use his weapon. He's barely on first base anymore. Like use him when you got him. This team ran so much. When they were the best offense in baseball early in the season, they were running constantly. They were putting pressure on the opponent all the time. And they're not doing that now. They've completely abandoned it. And now this comment here says the Cubs offense is below average. Disagree. It's bad. It's straight up. It's bad right now. It is a bad bad lineup right now. There's no other way to cut it. The Cubs they're in a point right now where if they don't start to play better baseball, the NL Central is going to be out of reach before you know it. And before you get to that 5-game series, you're not going to be talking about, taking a commanding lead over the Brewers in the division. You're going to be talking about really staring down a wild card berth and what that means for this roster. All right, we'll take our break. We'll get to your questions and comments. We'll talk more about this game today. We'll talk a little bit more about Ben Brown, the positives from that. That's all coming up next year on the Locked On Cubs postcast on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. Today's episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. While you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course or off of it, or through a Cubs game, you just need the extra boost to stay sharp and stay energized. Golf is about all the good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse to go without chasing down the bev cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5energy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONMLB to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through, or a transfusion-flavored 5-hour energy shots today.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started.
All right, a lot of comments in here in the chat, like this one. Bring Ballesteros up. Maybe that will give them a spark. Look, Larry, I think that's a great suggestion. My counter is, where is he playing? Because, frankly, he's had the biggest hit besides Justin Turner for the Cubs since the All-Star break. Seiya Suzuki was 8 for 56 since the All-Star break. I saw Matt just tweet that out while the ads were going there. I don't know. I'd love to see it, but where is he playing? He can't catch, so you're not going to DH him. I'd love to see him DH. I'd love to see Seiya, get some time off, or Tucker get some time off, because they're just not producing in any way. Unfortunately for the Cubs, while you have all these prospects in your system, like Owen Casey and Ballesteros, that could help this team, it's up to the guys on the roster. Unless Kyle Tucker is going to the injured list, then there's no room for someone to come up and save the day and try to get this thing rolling. It's just not there. The guys who are on this roster are the ones who are going to be responsible for the Cubs winning this division, or maybe being the last wild card spot, or maybe worse, the way they're playing right now, to be honest with you. I don't think that's going to happen, but for the first time this season, I'm opening my mind to the idea of how bad this is going to go. Big Mike says, can we start holding Kyle Tucker accountable? Yeah, we're doing that right now. Even if he's hurt, he's terrible right now. There's no other way to cut it. I know Jeff Passan said he's a $450 million player. It just doesn't look like it. I don't know. It's whether it's injury or whatever's going on. If it's a combo, which is my guess is what it is it's injury plus he's in his own head. He's got to get better in this team. And I've been saying Tucker is going to take this team as far as he can take it, but I think it's unfair to put all of this on Kyle Tucker, because you have to look at what's happening with Bush, with Suzuki, with PCA. I mean, those guys are all not contributing to this lineup every night. And it's the beginning of the season to where you are now. It shows you that's what it was. Like think back to where we were a month and a half, 2 months ago, when it's like all we could complain about was Dansby Swanson hitting fifth, but you're still scoring runs, you're still winning games. That's not the case, because the table setters are not on base. Like there's not even room to blame the guys at the bottom of the order of why the Cubs are losing. It's your best players, your future players, are your future star players, or maybe soon to be stars elsewhere in Tucker's case, that are just not producing. So we'll wrap up with Ben Brown here. He was really good in this game. Like 5 strikeouts, I think it was what he ended up with on the night. Only gives up 1 hit. It's interesting that with Ben Brown, like it seems like such a mental thing for him. Like he's publicly talked about it, and they've obviously talked about this a lot on the broadcast about how he's overamped in a game, having to come in when he's not expected to pitch, with Soroka leaving after 2 innings. I guess it's very clearly like that was the best thing for him. It's not the only time we've seen Ben Brown succeed in that role this year. So positive for Ben Brown. It shows you this stuff. I don't really care for the stuff on, the super nerdy analytics about ERA and all that stuff. Like your ERA is your ERA. I don't care what it's expected to be, because results are results. And his results haven't been good, but for today, it was very positive. So if I was going to do a locked on player of the game, I would give it to Ben Brown, but the Cubs, not good enough today to earn one of those. All right, that will do it for us today. Matt and Sam will have their show coming up a little bit later. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Hopefully, the Cubs will get it going at some point. If not, it's going to be this season's going to get long fast for the Cubs, with about a third of the season left to go. The offense is just a total disaster right now. There's no other way to cut it. So thank you for watching. We will talk to you guys tomorrow night. Remember, hit that subscribe button here to the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel, as well as anywhere you get your podcast, Apple and Spotify. My name is Joe George. Talk to you tomorrow. Peace.